Financial wellness is a measure of your overall personal well-being as it relates to your money. As an independent professional, there are many ways to improve your present situation while preparing for your future needs. Budgeting and finance techniques help you manage your income and expenses, maintain your credit score, and make the most out of your money throughout the year. Real estate investing enables you to grow your wealth through investing in the assets you know best. Succession planning refers to the preparation of an exit strategy for when you intend to leave your business. All of these aspects contribute to retirement planning, which empowers your investments, puts your mind at ease, and helps ensure that you're financially secure after exiting the workforce. Financial wellness is an ongoing journey, and the National Association of Realtors Center for Realtor Financial Wellness is here to help you navigate the path to success.
Welcome to the third of 3 webinars made in partnership with NAR's Center for Realtor Financial Wellness. As you registered for this event, you will receive an email which provides a link to the webinar on YouTube, the complete slide deck from today's presentation, and links to today's featured speaker. We encourage your questions. Please use the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen and questions will be answered at the appropriate time. At this time, I would like to introduce you to your moderator and the person behind bringing these important financial wellness webinars to you, our 2021 Maryland Realtors President, Dee Dee Miller.
Thank you. Welcome everyone for our third and final webinar before our summit focusing on financial wellness for the realtor. Today, I am excited to introduce to you Nick Crowder. Nick is a realtor in Portland, Oregon, where he leads a team and frequently serves as a real estate expert for the media. Nick is an avid golfer, writer, reader, and talker who enjoys all the adventures that he can in the great Northwest. I am especially excited to bring Nick to you today because Nick is also the author of the book, The Golden Handoff, which has helped the real estate industry by giving proven methods to buy a successful book of business from a retiring agent and also to package your business to sell when you're ready to retire. And here is some unexpected great news for today. For 48 hours only, starting today, you can get a free copy of the Golden Handoff ebook. We will be providing the link at the end of today's webinar, so stay tuned for that. So let's welcome Nick today and hear how we can all work towards that eventual goal of retirement and not just throw away your book of business that you've worked so hard to build. Welcome, Nick.
Dee Dee, thank you so much, and everyone in Maryland. I'm so excited to be here today to share the Golden Handoff with you. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my presentation deck and we'll get into it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the history of why I ended up writing a book. This is a quote from Toby Salgado, who is one of the people that was one of the first to interview me when the book came out. And I was surprised when I started helping agents who were retiring that there wasn't really a model for people to follow. And that kind of takes us to our first step. In real estate, we have 2 major problems. Number one is, how do I grow a business? How do I get clients? How do I sell houses? That's very, very important, because if you don't have clients, you don't have a business. And if you don't have a business, there's nothing to sell at the end and there's nothing to live on. So rightly so, most of the literature training in real estate is all based on all the different ways you can grow and have a thriving real estate business. Whether you work by referral, whether you prospect, whether you work in a small community, there's a million ways to do real estate. And the great thing is they all work. You just have to find the one that works for you. But there's another problem in real estate. And for some reason, we have this multi-billion-dollar industry that's been around for over 100 years. And there's really been no model for what do you do when you're done selling? What do you do when you pick up your last sign from a listing or hand keys to the last buyer? You've spent years and years, many of us have spent decades building this business, building relationships. But 99% of realtors, what do they do when they retire? They just simply go away, and their book of business and all their clients have to go find new realtors. And you get no benefit when you stop selling from all of this, but not anymore. And the Golden Handoff is the way to make sure you don't throw away that book of business that's so incredibly valuable. Now, if we were all in a room, I'd ask everyone to raise their hand now and say, how many of us would prefer to work by referral if we could? And the reason why we don't is because we don't get enough referrals. Anyone who's getting enough referrals to stay busy and grow a business is probably not spending a lot of time cold calling. They're probably not door knocking. They're probably doing a lot of those other things that can consistently lead to new clients. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you had someone call you every day with a referral, would you do it? And I think most of us would say no. Now, the reason why people don't focus so much on referrals is because you can't grow them very quickly because it takes relationships. But we think of referrals in the traditional way, right? So Dee Dee out in Maryland has someone moving to Portland, Oregon, where I work, and she calls me up and says, hey, I've got this great buyer. I just sold their house. They're moving to Portland. Will you help them buy a house? And I say, yes, I would love to help them. We sign a referral agreement. I sell them a house. Dee Dee gets a referral fee. I get a new client. Everyone wins. But it's slow, right? One referral, one client. But what if Dee Dee said, hey, I'm retiring from real estate. I've had a great career. I have a book of business. I've got 300 clients I've worked with that work with me, refer me, and I'd like you to help them. So one referral agreement, 300 new clients in this example. That's a lot of people. So the really important thing to think about here is that referrals, while historically have been thought of as a kind of a slow and steady way to grow a business, now you can think of those as an exponential way to grow a business, meaning every referral can mean a lot more than just one new client. Now, we probably have a lot of broker and franchise owners and office owners on this call. And if you own your own business like I do, you know that the value of your brokerage is based on the value of your agents and their business. And each agent, you look at the value of their business, and it's basically how many houses do they sell a year and what's their average commission. But more importantly, the durable value of that business is how many repeat and referral clients someone has. If you simply do 99% of your business from prospecting and marketing, the second you stop prospecting and the second you stop marketing is the second business stops coming in. But if you have a referral business and your clients are part of your sales force and your vendors are referring you and your title people and lenders and all of the different people that you work with are referring you and all your clients refer you, well, you don't have to work as hard because those people are helping you grow your business and sending you new clients. And so I would say that you look at a value of a real estate business, look at how many repeat and referral clients someone has. So let me ask, how long would it take you to grow by 300 new clients? I don't mean leads, I don't mean Zillow things, I mean actual real clients that have referred you or bought or sold. And the answer is if someone has a database of 300 clients, it took them their entire career to build that. So every time you adopt a business from someone who's retiring, you get to leapfrog ahead in your career by someone else's entire career. Let that sink in. What other opportunity do you have to grow that quickly and by that much? It's really a unique opportunity and one I'm really excited that more and more people are taking advantage of. So a little bit about my story. When I was starting to do this, it was 2010. I had got licensed in 2006 in Portland. And as we know, there was a big recession that happened right after I got my license, and worked my way through it. But what started happening is not only do you have your normal turnover from new agents who decide they don't like the job or it isn't for them or they're not as successful as they wanted, but you started to have a lot of agents in 2010, 11, and 12 who were very, very good, who had great businesses, who just decided that they didn't want to keep doing real estate with how depressed the market was. And so a lot of good agents with great relationships started retiring, not just new people that weren't able to make it. And one of those was Renee, and she had the office next to me. And I knew Renee very well. She had a great clientele. It was all referral, mostly middle and high end properties close in the city. And when she told me she was going to go back to the nonprofit world, because she was raising a family, had a second child. And so for her family reasons, she decided to get out of real estate. She was very successful, but the schedule wasn't working anymore. And I said, well, I'd love to help your clients. Let me know if you have someone that I can work with and I'll send you a referral fee. And she decided to work with a different agent who was struggling, a newer agent who didn't have a lot of business, because I think she thought she could help him. And she also thought he had more time than me because I was much busier. Well, after 6 months, it didn't work out. She came back to me And she said, you know, this was a mistake. He's not following up. When he gets appointments, I have to go to the appointments because he's not skilled enough yet. And I want to work with you, but do you think it's too late? Now, it had been 6 months. And I said, well, the good news is most people move about every 10 years. So while I'm sure we've lost some people, you certainly have kept most of them. So let's put together a plan. Let's get an introduction letter. Let's work on a way to explain why I'm helping out, and an endorsement letter. And I'm going to share all of this with you today and give you guys a link to get all these free resources that you can use and edit yourself. And I learned something really important when I started calling her clients, and that was all of our clients already think we're all retired. Your number one job in real estate is letting all your people know that you're still busy, actively working, but not too busy to help them. It's a very fine line we have to walk of saying, sharing our successes, but making sure people know we still have time for them and their referrals. And in doing that, we found about $2 or $3 million of in contract or listed properties with other agents from her database in just 6 months. And so what's important is, one of the myths I think people have when they retire is that their clients will still call them and they can just refer business. The problem is all of your clients already know 5 other realtors or 10 other realtors. And if they know or think you're retired, they're not going to bother you and call you. You have to have someone that does that work. And that is the difference between passive marketing and active marketing. Passive marketing is waiting by the phone and hoping people call you. And as if anyone who's been in the business long enough knows, that doesn't really work. You have to call people, you have to ask questions, you have to stay engaged. The second person I helped was David, and David was a totally different story. We were the same age, we were in our early 30s at the time, and he was going to LA to work on a movie. And I tell the stories of these people in the book. These are real people that I actually worked with. But he knew in going to do this job in LA on a movie, which is his real true passion, that he would not have time to work in real estate in Portland. And so I reached out to him and we helped him with his business while he was gone. At the time, he was doing about $6 million a year in sales. And in the year we managed his business, we did $6 million in sales, which at the time, our average price in Portland was about $250. So it was quite a good book of business, a lot of high-end sales, and we did a great work with it. So all of a sudden now I've helped a couple people and more people are coming to me wanting to sell their business and have me manage it. And so we reached out to all of the offices I was at. I was at a large brokerage at the time. We had 750 offices around the world. And we sent an email out to all of the managers and said, hey, is anyone else out there helping people with retirement or adopting businesses? And the overwhelming answer was no. And the second answer was, hey, that seems really great. We need that. If you've got an idea of how to do that and you've got a process that you've done and it's repeatable and it's easy to implement, you should really write a book. And so that's how the Golden Handoff became a book, was because I was looking for another model to make my system better and I just couldn't find it. So here's some of the real numbers. This is 2010, 11, 12 numbers. So our average price has doubled. In most markets, we've seen a massive recovery since then. In the first year, we took over one business, did an additional 2.5 million in sales, which related to about a $60,000 increase in our gross commission income. Year 2, we took on another business and did 6.5 million in sales. That created another $162,000 of income for the team. And based on our model, we sent about $60,000 in referral fees to our retiring agent partners. Year 3, it went down because David came back from LA, the movie was done, he took over his business again, which is something we had planned from the get-go. So I mentioned referrals a lot, and the thing about this that's so great is all of us are very familiar with what a referral agreement is. The difference is that this is a referral for everyone in your database, and it's for all of the deals they do over 3 years. So a traditional referral is one person, one transaction, and after that it's yours. The Golden Handoff is for all of the people in an agent's database, and it's over 3 years. So the first year, the referral fee is 30%. The second year, it's 20%, and in the third year, it's 10%. So if one person buys or sells multiple times over that time frame, the retiring agent gets paid on all of those deals. The reason why it's higher in the beginning is because my success at the beginning is largely based on how good of a job that retiring agent did staying in relationship with their clients. But by year 3, if those folks are working with us and we're successfully helping them buy and sell, It's really based on the work that me and my team as the adopting agents are doing. And that's why we adjust that. Obviously, the retiring agent's going to talk to new people and meet new people, and you want them to refer all those folks to you as well. Those are treated just like traditional referrals. So 20% or 25%, whatever your norm is in your market or your business, those are traditional one-time referral fees, and then you add them into the database. So one of the big questions I get is, well, why not just sell it outright? You know how much business that you're doing, you figure out a multiple on that, and you sell it. Well, in real estate, it's really difficult because, like I said, most of our clients don't need us every year. You go to the dentist more than once a year, hopefully. Your insurance renews every couple months. You either pay for it monthly or every 6 months or every year. But with real estate, it's not something where people show up the same time every day, every year. And this is because predicting the value of a real estate business is actually pretty difficult. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to look at valuing a business. And I'm going to give you guys a link that you can check out on goldenhandoff.com. We have built a calculator based on the fundamentals of the book and of real estate to show you what a business might be worth to both the adopting agent and the retiring agent over the life of the agreement. Now, the first thing that makes it difficult is when you take over a business as an adopting agent, you really don't know how great of a job that agent did staying in touch with their people. You can tell based on the amount of repeating referral, but at the end of the day, you still have a hard time figuring out how well that agent did until you start calling those people and checking in with them. The second part of the equation is on the adopting agent. That's what AA stands for here, is how good of a job are they going to do with their new clients? Are they going to make sure they call them on schedule? Are they going to invite them to their classes, client events, make sure they get the newsletter? Those are all things that are important and completely change how successful this works. And the third thing is market variability. Now, I bet that about 80% of the people on this call haven't been through a recession. I started in 2006, and if for all of the realtors that have been in the business longer than that, you've seen multiple market cycles. For the last 9 years, our market has essentially just gone up. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens next because there seems to be no signs of it slowing down with our low inventory and high construction costs. But real estate is cyclical, and I do expect that we will have some kind of pullback or slowdown in the future. No one really knows where that is, and that's a topic for a different discussion, one that I have a lot with other agents in my market and around the country. But again, when I was taking over businesses, the market was actually getting close to a bottom of the recession. So those businesses became more valuable over time. And if you bought or sold something today, it's potential that the market slows down or prices go down, interest rates go up, and activity goes down, and maybe that business is worth less in the future. So here's how the money works. The main agreement here is about direct income. So you take over a database, you have all the clients of the retiring agent. Every time they buy or sell something, you get the commission and the retiring agent gets a referral fee. But every time you get a listing, what happens? You get a bunch of opportunities to meet new people. So every time you put a sign in the yard, you can do sign calls. You can get postcards mailed out around the listing. You can do open houses, door knock the neighborhood, invite people to a neighbors only open, follow up with neighbors to do valuations for their home. Your name's on a sign. You're getting emails, calls, texts. These are all ways to meet new people. And if you're doing a good job, every listing should yield you one more client. And if you're doing that, every new listing you get should get you another client, means that gives you another closing. That closing 100% goes to you because that's based on the work you're doing as the adopting agent. Now, if you're doing a great job with these new clients you've just adopted, they're going to refer you as well. And when those clients refer you people that aren't already in the database, those are clients that are yours as well, 100%. Now, the retiring agent has a way to continue to grow their influence and grow their income because any people they meet, they can refer to that agent and get new referral fees. On those, you just pay just like a new referral from any agent. So I promised I would tell you guys a couple ways to look at valuing a business and seeing how many deals you can expect. So let's say you take over a database of 200 clients, and that retiring agent has a track record of doing about 75% of their business from repeat and referral clients. That means there's about 150 people in that database you can expect to work with you again or refer you someone. Now, the average time between moves is about 10 years. If you've looked at these stats, you know there isn't an exact average, but the bell curve ends up around 10. So using that as just a metric, that means that of 150 people in a database, if they move on average every 10 years, that's about 15 transactions per year. Now make sure you balance this out against the production of the retiring agent. If they're doing 40 deals a year, then maybe they've got more prospecting and marketing income than it looks like. And if it's less than this, then maybe they're not getting as much repeat and referral business as they should be. All right, so now that I've explained this magical new way to grow your business exponentially and get more referrals, how do we find these folks who are getting out of the business? Well, the number one thing is networking. And the best place to network is with your realtor association and your brokerage. So starting with your brokerage in your office, that is going to be the best place to help people who are retiring and find out about people who are leaving the business. And again, it's not just retirement. People move to new markets, they change careers, they retire. Sometimes people take a sabbatical because of personal or family reasons. And there's an opportunity in all of those to help people. Like I mentioned, your realtor association. So the Maryland Association here is putting on this presentation today, and thank you guys again so much for having me. Your realtor association is a great way to stay engaged and connected to agents at your brokerage, but also through other brokerages throughout the whole state. And beyond that, you can network with your community of realtors. And by that, I mean the people that you co-broker with, friends at other brokerages, people that you meet on broker tours or get to work with in transactions. Those are all people to stay in touch with. If you really want to grow this part of your business, you can also do marketing. So doing outreach to people, one of the things I always recommend and people do very well with is just simply sharing the book, The Golden Handoff, with an agent that you would like to take over their business one day is a great way to introduce them to the idea that their business does have value and there is a way that they can make money after they're done selling. Once you've connected with someone, I think that it's the best analogy I can say is that someone who's looking to retire and sell their business is just like someone that wants to list and sell their house. Sometimes you talk to people and they're ready today and they want to get their house on the market and get it sold. And sometimes you talk to people and they might be years away from moving. Maybe they're waiting for their kids to finish school. They're waiting for someone to retire. There's a lot of different reasons. But either way, staying in contact, consistent communication is the secret to success. The third thing you can do if you want to go really deep dive is look at production analysis. And what I look for is agents that have a declining amount of business over time. So if someone is doing 50 million in sales one year and the next year they're doing 40 and then 30, that's a sign of someone who's phasing out. And that's what typically realtors do is they just stop marketing and they start working less and less and they work with their core clients and they don't follow up as much with all the different leads that they could be. And those are signs of people that are worth talking to because they're probably working their way to retirement. Now, if you're on this call and you're getting close to retiring and you're looking for someone to take over your business, here's some things to keep in mind. Any person you're talking to about real estate should have at least the experience to help people buy and sell. You don't want to teach someone how to do real estate with your clients. And you want to make sure that when you're talking to an agent about managing your business and helping your clients, that you can start with client communication and the marketing and the community building that you do to maintain your business. You don't want them to have to talk to you about how to do a listing or how to work with a buyer. The second thing is that they have to have the resources, and that's not just one thing. So if you have a business of 300 clients and you're about to adopt 300 more clients and double your business, that's an incredible opportunity. It's very exciting, but you need to make sure that that agent has the time and the money to take care of those people. And they probably are likely going to need to have a team or assistants at a minimum that can help them leverage their time better, because you're not going to be able to do everything if you're a solo agent. If you double your business, you're going to need to scale up and start building a team and have people that can help you with managing the business. The third thing is ethics. You want to make sure that people are fair and honest and with your clients and with you. And the last thing is energy. And it's important that you like this person, that you think your clients would like them. The easiest way I can say to make a decision on whether or not someone would be a good adopting agent is that if you were going to list your house would you hire this person? Is this someone that you would feel very confident bringing in to give you advice and guidance on buying or selling a property yourself? If the answer is yes, you probably have a fantastic person. And if you have second doubts or thoughts about it, it's probably means you should interview some more people. Now, what's really important here is that you're not trying to find a copy of yourself. We are all unique and different. And what makes us successful as realtors is not that we have a specific personality type. What makes us successful as realtors is that we are able to adjust our personality and our communication to fit the needs of our clients. And so in that in mind, maybe you're a very like hard charging, high D person, and maybe you're going to talk to someone that's more of a high I, that's more social and takes longer in appointments. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful because they're not exactly like you, but they need to be able to adapt to your client's needs. Now, here's who not to hire. Your friend. Friends and family will often take business dealings very casually. So if you're going to hire a friend or a family member, make sure that they know that this is a real business decision and that you're going to hold them accountable to do the work that needs to be done to manage your clients and take care of them and make sure that you both get the most out of this. A lot of people think that their assistant is the perfect fit, but the problem is your assistant probably took that job because they don't want to work on commission. So if you have a hybrid assistant that's also licensed, that also does some selling, you're going to need to move them to the front office, I like to say, meaning get them out of the office and get them in front of clients and see how they work as an agent and give them some time to do that. Maybe you have someone that's a great fit and they worked as an assistant to learn the business, but most assistants are much more comfortable with a monthly or weekly paycheck. And so oftentimes that's not the right fit. The third is the charismatic new agent. There's always a rookie of the year in every office and in every market. And just because someone is a fantastic salesperson and works very hard doesn't mean that they're going to be able to grow and manage a business and manage other people. And that's something that if someone's going to go from rookie of the year to a top producer, they're going to have to learn how to manage people and manage a business, not just be a great salesperson. The fourth is that people oftentimes will try to help other people out. So someone that needs more business. I always like to say that if someone is bad at business and you give them more clients, they don't magically get good at business. They just do bad business with more people. And you don't want to do that with your clients. But what most people do is they choose nobody. They simply phase out. They eventually don't renew their license. Maybe there's a referral or two that comes in or someone sends them an email or has a question. But most people choose nobody. And I hope that you don't do that because that would be the worst choice of all. So here's how this works. So you, retiring agent and the adopting agent connect, you sign a contract, which is basically, like I said, a referral agreement. An announcement is sent out to all of the retiring agent's clients that comes from the retiring agent on their letterhead. So the clients know it's from someone that they know and trust. Oftentimes though, I will send that on their behalf and as the adopting agent, but it's all on their letterhead and logo. And they're announcing basically who they're hiring and why. And I'll share that with you as well. And you'll get a copy of the announcement letter as well. Once that happens, the adopting agent calls, emails, and communicates with the new clients, just like they would with their own past clients. And everyone does deals, collects referral fees over the next 3 years. And obviously, if you have new referrals that go beyond that, even into the future beyond that. Now, what you're really selling when you're retiring is your database. And so the number one piece of advice I have for anyone here who is planning on retiring, either now or over the next 5 years, and honestly, this is something that's important while you're running your business, is to maintain a good database. So this is kind of the minimum you need: name, phone number, email, address, addresses of other properties they own if they own investment properties, and then any notes you have about the person. Now at the very top is category, and there's 2 different forms of categories. The traditional one is the ABC method. And the ABC method is all about how well you know and trust the agent, meaning an A client is always going to work with the agent. They're always going to refer you. That's high level trust, high level relationship. B level is that you know and like each other, but you're not sure, and you think they would work with you, but they either haven't referred you or they haven't worked with you yet. C might be someone you met at an open house, someone that gets your newsletter. They could work with you, but you really don't have a deep relationship. So that's one way to organize your database, and I think that it's very valuable. The second is what I call descriptive tags. So our business, we work with investors, we work with builders, developers, we work on commercial property and residential property. So the needs of our clients are very diverse and they're very, very varied. And so the way you speak to an investor is not the same way you want to communicate to a first-time home buyer. And the way that you would talk to a builder is not the way you would talk to a seller, is not the way you would talk to a commercial client. And so knowing who people are and what they need is another way to organize your database so that you can communicate in a way that is relevant to your clients. One more thing on the database is one of the parts of this process that I talk about in the book is going over the database together. So the retiring agent and adopting agent. And I typically tell people print out an Excel spreadsheet of all the names, phone numbers, emails, addresses, and notes. Because going over that together and explaining who these people are, the retiring agent will always find people that you should follow up with, add information that isn't in the notes that can help you know these clients better. So that process is incredibly valuable. So here are kind of the key components, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. And I know that whenever we do presentations, I'm always telling people to try to not check their email and not be on their phone. But I want you guys to go to goldenhandoff.com and sign up with your name and email, because what will happen is you'll automatically get an email with a link to download a contract, the letter, the scripts, and some marketing materials that are all in Word and Publisher and PowerPoint, so that you can edit these, put your logo on it, tweak it, make it whatever you want, but you don't have to rebuild it from scratch. So if you go to Golden Handoff, that'll be a way to do that. So the contract, like I said, it's a simple referral agreement. The difference is that it's over a longer period of time and it's for everyone in the database. So the key thing here is that you want to define year 1, 2, and 3 with the actual dates they stop and start, because real estate being what it is, you're going to have someone that's going to close one day early or one day late, and it might push them into a different year. This is all based on when the deals actually close. It also specifies that there's a one-time referral fee for new people referred, but the other ones it's for any deals they do. The retiring agent is has to maintain a real estate license somewhere. Doesn't have to be in the same state, but they have to have a real estate license somewhere to get referral income. Usually people keep it in their home state, and most brokerages have a kind of referral agreement basically with agents that if they're not selling, they have no fees or their fees are significantly lower. And I also ask the retiring agent that anytime they talk to someone or have a question or they get feedback, that they share that with me. The adopting agent is maintaining the same marketing and follow-up that the retiring agent did, or better. One other thing I recommend is that you look at your marketing plans, both agents, and you look at where your business comes from, so that it's really clear what the adopting agent is signing on to do. Are they going to call everyone once a year? Are they calling them twice a year? How many events are they hosting? How many newsletters do they send? So that you know objectively what both of you are agreeing to. The adopting agent needs to communicate any new deals and close sales, just so the retiring agent knows what's happening. And once the adopting agent takes over, they're paying for all the marketing, maintaining the business, the staff, to make sure that they're taking care of the needs of their new adopted clients. So this is the announcement letter. This is coming from the retiring agent on their letterhead with their return address. And it goes out to all of their clients and basically says, you're retiring, you're going to be referring everyone to this new agent. And this is introducing the new agent. This is Nick. He's been licensed in 2006, and we've known each other forever, and he's great. He's going to take good care of you. And lets people know what's going to happen. Nick's going to be calling you. You're going to start getting his newsletter, emails from him. So just don't put him in the spam box, but that's your new guy. Now here's the script I use when I call people. And this is deceptively simple, but it works incredibly well. So at this point, all of these clients of the retiring agent have gotten hopefully a call from the retiring agent, and they've gotten a letter and an email. And now with social media, it's very easy to do a video together, share that with your social media and all your clients, because a lot of us are connected that way to our clients. And so at this point, I'm the adopting agent. I'm calling all these new clients I have, and this is the script. Hi, this is Nick Crowder with ABC Real Estate, and I promised your realtor, John, I'd call and check in and see if you had any real estate needs or questions I can help with. Very simple, right? I'm not asking if they want to buy or sell today. I'm not starting with asking for a referral. It's just, I'm calling because I promised your realtor who you like that I would check in with you, and I'm here to help. This does a couple things. There's two things you always wanted to demonstrate to clients, and that's character and competence. Your character is keeping a promise, your character is follow through, your character is doing the right thing. And so these people have all been told multiple times that I'm going to call them. So I'm just, in this simple script, I'm establishing my character because I'm keeping a promise to someone that they like and following through on what I said I would do. The next part is where you establish your competence. So if someone says, hey, great, thanks for calling, we actually do want to move. Well, you just put on your realtor hat and you go do the realtor thing, right? You do your listing appointment, you do a buyer consult, and off you go. That's stuff we all know how to do. But most people, because it's real estate, aren't necessarily looking to buy or sell today. Maybe it's a couple years out, maybe it's 5, 10 years out, when they retire, or when the kids are off to college, or whatever it is. So having a little tidbit about your market. Now, it's funny, I put this in here as boilerplate, but this is actually true again. Our real estate market, I said, if they say, no, I'm really happy with my house, that's perfect. Most of John's clients love their homes. He did a great job. Did you know our market is up 10% over last year? So just having a little tidbit about the market. So the inventory, the number of homes for sale, real estate trends. You don't want to vomit a ton of data on people, but having a couple things about the market, that establishes your competence. That says, not only do I have the character to follow through and keep my promise, but I also know what's going on in the business as a business professional. And you always want to end it by explaining to people what is going to happen next. So I'll be staying in touch. You're going to be getting my newsletter. We send out an email every month about the market. And we look forward to helping you. If you need anything, if you need a referral for a plumber or a roofer, please call me and let me know. We've got great people that can help you. And before I let you go, I want to ask, who do you know that might be looking to buy or sell that I can be of service to? Now, a little coaching on this. You want to ask questions in an open-ended manner. So the question is not, do you know someone who wants to buy or sell, which is a yes or no. You want to ask, who do you know that is looking to buy or sell? And I think it's important, again, this is a referral-based business. If the retiring agent's done a good job, these clients are all well schooled and taught how to refer people. And so to always ask for a referral. Well, I promised I would leave us some time for Q&A, and I saw quite a few things coming through chat and Q&A. So this is how you can reach me. The golden handoff has a calculator button at the top. I know a lot of people have been signing up on this call, so thank you guys for doing that. I only use that list to talk about what's going on in the golden handoff. We just released a workbook edition, which came out in October. You can find the link for that as well. And we are currently putting together a training program. And so if you're on the email list, you'll be getting an invite to kind of our beta version of that, which we'll be launching in the next couple months. And if you have any folks headed out to Portland, Oregon, I have a fantastic team. Like I said, we help with residential and commercial and investment. And me and the other brokers have been at this quite a while. So we'd love to help any folks you have going out towards Oregon or Washington. All right, Dee Dee, do you want to pull up some questions and do some Q&A?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So real quick, somebody did say that when you go to goldenhandoff.com that you are asked to purchase a workbook, but they're looking for
it has a pop-up with a link for it. So you just can click past that. It'll get you to the website, or just close that window.
Okay. So Sandy, he says, just close that window out to get past that. And then what a broker actually asked, what if you actually own the brokerage with turnkey business systems, agents, and respected staff? You know, how would that relate into this instead of just an individual agent selling their book of business, or maybe an agent with a team, looking at that from the full brokerage perspective?
Sure. So I actually just talked to someone about this recently. And when you're doing that, there's really two things you're doing. Your real estate brokerage is much more like an insurance agency business because your clients are really your agents. And so then you have consistent, predictable income with those agents' businesses where, based on your model, you're getting a split or a flat fee or income from those agents. And so that portion of the business and your assets you own, your staff, your real estate that you own or your leases, that's much more of a traditional business sale where you might want to involve a business broker. And then the golden handoff is really there to help you transfer your clients. So if you're a selling broker and you own your own brokerage, and I'm one of those, so I have my brokerage business and then I have my personal book of business. It's really going to be 2 transactions. And so I would look at using the golden handoff for your client list. And then I would encourage you to have a business broker help with the sale of the brokerage and all of their assets, because those are really 2 distinct different businesses.
All right, great information. So there was an ongoing chat, and I'm still not sure I completely understand the question.
Sure,
That was
I'll do my best.
Talking about generating from the book of business different referrals, and I thought the person was asking like if you're working leads with inside of the referral, that then you answered basically stating if other leads came from that particular referral, then are you paying referrals out on that? And I thought that's what she was asking, which you did answer that no, that's basically new business you generated, right? So you're not paying referrals on that, something of that structure. But then she said, here's an example. And she says, if Sam is in my database and he refers me all his friends, if Sam refers his sister to me, do I get the referral fee for Sam's sister?
So, okay, so I'm assuming that the retiring agent, Sam, is in the retiring agent's database.
Correct. She is putting herself as the retiring agent.
If Sam is referring people directly to the adopting agent, then, and they're not in the database, then those would be not in the agreement, because it's just impossible to try to track that. And when Sam is referring to the adopting agent, it's because the adopting agent is doing their job in maintaining those relationships and marketing to the people, including Sam. Now, if Sam referred someone to the retiring agent can refer it back. But you don't want to teach people to do that because you're trying to retire. Otherwise, just keep doing your job and just stay in the business. So I hope that answers that question. But yeah, if Sam referred someone outside of the database to the adopting agent, that 100% goes to the adopting agent. If Sam refers someone that's already in the database, then obviously that would still be part of the agreement.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think that answered it. Seems to be a couple of people are having a little bit of technical issue about signing up. So
I think we have a lot of people that are doing it. Let me
yeah, so it's possible that maybe just wait a few minutes, Terry, and go about that again, because possibly we're flooding your website right now potentially.
No, it should be okay. Let's see, I don't have my browser open, so.
And that did answer the Shirley's question about the referring that you just explained. So great, thank you, Shirley, for letting me know we did actually get to what you were asking there. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you're going to all get a copy of the ebook. It's the same one that's on Amazon, so it's in PDF or format. You can put it on a Kindle if you want. If you want the audiobook, the only way to get that is through Audible, which is part of Amazon. If you love the sound of my voice, you can listen to it for another 4 or 5 hours on the audiobook. And like I mentioned, the workbook is a newly available kind of a teaching version of the book where you have all of the checklist questions, interview questions, and guides basically for both agents through the whole thing. So each workbook has the whole process for both the adopting agent and the retiring agent, and really just tried to take the book and make it very easy if you have the workbook to just follow through that process and have a successful handoff.
Yeah, great. And some people are asking about the code for the book. We will be distributing the code out. Maryland Realtors is going to put that out shortly. So we'll see the coupon code out so you guys can get the book. So a couple of things, I mean, some takeaways, and maybe we want to kind of expand on some of these, but just from notes that I was taking, and admittedly, I did buy the book and have been reading the book. And I know some other Maryland realtors own this book already and have been looking at their retirement plans. And
Yeah,
one, in fact, was cracking me up because he had the book and he had nice little sticky notes all the way tabbed, all the way down, all these different parts of the books. And we actually had another one of our members who utilized your program to do her retirement here in Maryland, and now she's in Florida. And I thought that was amazing when I saw that pop up on our Facebook page.
that's
When
great.
we were promoting this. So we have folks right here in our own membership that are absolutely using these systems that you've created. And I think this is one of the most important things that we as business owners can do. Why hang it up and not be able to profit in the long term from what you have spent much time and many years trying to build up? So some of my takeaways, and if anybody has a question as I'm going through, we can expand on a little more. The first one, which is very important, I think, is that selecting wisely who to partner with. And I think probably that is one of the biggest mistakes. Even we as running our businesses right now, not even thinking as retirement. I think we as practitioners sometimes, we hire who's convenient instead of really thinking through, like to work on our team or an assistant or whoever. So from that mindset, there's a little bit more of maybe we didn't think it through. And this is such a big decision and a big step going towards retirement, that selecting that, very wisely who you're going to partner with seems like a number one biggest thing to think about before you think about anything else.
I think it's great. Yeah. And I think, again, you made a great analogy of sometimes you hire someone as an assistant because you're desperate and you're busy and you just kind of find the first person that says yes, and maybe that's not the good long-term decision. So I think that the sooner you start planning for this and interviewing, talking to the people you think would be a good fit, the more success you're going to have in finding someone that will be not only willing and able to take over the business, but excited about it. I've talked to different people about taking over parts of my business, and the problem isn't that there's an opportunity. The problem is that for a lot of people, it's too big. We have so many people in the database that people are overwhelmed because they're used to working with a database of a couple hundred people, not thousands. And it's a very different process. And so making sure that you understand, that the adopting agent is not only able and fits the kind of the guidelines, that they've got the energy and the time and the resources and the ethics, and that you would hire them as an agent to sell your house, but that they actually want to grow the business. Maybe they're getting close to retirement too, and you don't even know it because it's not something people necessarily broadcast in real estate. And so I think that's great, is taking the time to really find the right fit. Is, if you're retiring, there's two things. It's how good is your database, and is this person you take as your adopting agent going to do the work that needs to be done that made you successful with your clients? And it is work, and that this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a get very rich slowly over a long period of time scheme. And it's very predictable and it works well, but it does take work.
Great. Sorry, I froze for a minute there, but I know that was all really good information that you just gave. So my apology. I got that. Your connection's unstable there for a minute. Yeah, so I think definitely who you partner with is very important. And then the other thing too, and I think a lot of us struggle with this, we spend a lot of time working in our business, not on our business, right? And I think a big part of that for realtors, especially with the market the way it is right now, and everybody's struggling because there's little inventory, and we're trying to get people into homes, and we're multi-con offer situations, and people are, it's exhausting, right? So we're so tied up in trying to do all that, we're not working on our business. And I think the second thing, my takeaway, is clean and concise database, and really qualifying who are really your A people, or
Sure.
who are your, this category and that category, and just making sure, at what point, like, I feel like we want to try to do that on a regular basis, working on our business. But like, if someone's thinking, okay, I'm going to retire 5 years from now, like that's your plan. You've sat down with your financial advisor and you're thinking, 5 years from now, here's where I want to retire. Here's what I've done so far. Here's what I, have put away in my investment vehicles, whatever they might be for your personal business, how you have yourself set up. How early do I need to really start interviewing who I think might be a good partner, cleaning up my database? I mean, nobody wants to do this at the 11th hour and then suddenly kind of, offload it and not do it in the best manner that you possibly could. So we should all be working on our business all the time, but I mean, really crunch time wise, like, do you phase it 3 years, 2 years of I'm cleaning everything up, and then my next step is really looking for who I'm partnering with, interviewing people, and this may take a 3-year window?
Okay, I think the answer to that question of how long it takes to phase out is how big your business is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing, 10, 20 deals a year, you can really do it pretty efficiently. And typically those are kind of, you pick a day and you switch over. If someone's doing, 50 to 100 deals a year, 40 to 100 deals a year, and they've got a small team, or they've got a couple staff, and they're in the top tier of the agents in their market, you're never going to have a month where you have nothing going on, right? You're always going to have listings, you're always going to have escrows. And so for someone like that, it might be something where you spend 6 months to a year interviewing people and finding the right person. And then you work together for 6 months to a year and a half, and kind of phase over. And typically what I see happen, and we're talking to someone about this right now in our market, is they know they could be doing 2 or 3 times the number of deals they're doing, but they don't need the money. They've been doing it 30 years. And so they're only doing 30, 40 deals a year on purpose. But they know they're losing out on business because they're just not following up with their database like they used to. And so the adopting agent can take all the signed calls, all the new leads, all the internet inquiries, all the new referrals, any stuff that's further out of town, lower price point, first time buyer, whatever your reasons are. And the retiring agent can keep working with their top tier clients, right? Helping people sell their big houses, or working in the closing market, or, if you work new construction, maybe you have a couple builders you work with, and you keep those relationships, but everything else you hand off to the adopting agent, and then eventually you hand off everything. So to me, the timing of it really is about how big the business is, and the bigger it is, the longer it takes, because you never have a month where nothing's going on, where you can work, like you said, on the business. You have to fit that in between working with clients. And so typically you see kind of a merger or a partial handoff where people kind of phase in and out together over a longer period of time.
Yeah, so that's an interesting concept. It's almost a little bit like, for someone who has a bigger book of business, almost like a bit of a hybrid where you almost meld the group together, you as the retiring agent with the adopting agent on the other side. And you almost, for a period of time, it's almost like you're going in a parallel path, working the business together at the point where then you would put, really cut ties and just receive the referrals. I mean, is that kind of
I think
method?
that's exactly what I would say. And there's another way to describe it, and you really join the adopting agent's team. And so depending on what you want to focus on, you could simply say, every time you get a call for a buyer, which is probably what you're going to refer out first, is you'd say, oh, this is great, thanks for the referral. I'm part of a team now, and all of our buyers are helped by Glenn. And so Glenn is going to set up a buyer consultation with you and talk to your lender and work with you. And you just refer out that. And then someone calls, say, hey, I want to sell a house. You're like, great, I can still help you do that. Or, whatever it is you want to focus on before you, kind of the last pieces of business you want to personally do, you can kind of pick and choose and then just refer anything else out to the team. And that gives you a lot more freedom and a lot more time, but you don't lose out on the money, because I think that's what, by default, that's what most agents do when they retire, is they just stop pursuing that. And if someone isn't really motivated or doesn't want to do something right now, they don't really dig in like you would if you were a new agent and someone said, I want to sell my house, but not for 2 years. And you call them every 6 months and check in. If you're retiring, you might not be doing that. So.
No, you're sitting on a beach somewhere with a cocktail, right? That's what you're doing. Maybe nowadays, so we have our laptops and our phones on the beach with us. So maybe you are still calling from the beach trying to generate that business.
Yeah, they're not really retired. You're just working on a beach.
Exactly. I think we've all been there. So
Oh,
that's amazing. That's great information, Nick. And then someone did ask this question earlier and I did answer it. And I think it's important to repeat it because you did actually mention it as well. The retiring agent needs to continue to keep a current license in whatever format that needs to be, whether you said it's in with a referral network with the brokerage, that may have a referral section. or keeping it actually active, and how that may be. Because remember, you can't pay these referral fees to a non-licensed person. So I think that goes, that bears repeating, because a couple of people actually put that in the questions as well.
Yeah, it's in the contract that they have to keep a license somewhere in the US. So basically, like you mentioned, a woman that moved to Florida, and if she's still working and is deciding to work in Florida, she could basically sell and retire from her business in Maryland, but still be active in Florida, and that would be fine. If your plan is to not work at all, it's usually just easiest to keep your license active in the state you're in, because you already have it. And you typically have some renewal fees and some continuing ed, but again, the cost is pretty minimal when you're thinking about the amount of money that could be coming in. Like I mentioned earlier on, one of the people I worked with was David, and we did $150,000 of income from his database in 1 year, and I sent him $50,000 in referral fees in 1 year, which when they came back from LA, they used that as the down payment to buy a house. So it was not a small amount of money. And that wasn't even a very big business. I mean, a lot of the people we're talking to now, they're doing 10, 15, 20 million in sales. And so, multiply that number, that could be $100,000, $200,000 of referral fees for someone that has a business at that level. And on the website at the top, there's a little calculator button, and you only need to know two things. How many repeat and referral clients do you close every year? And what is your average commission? And it'll show you there's a formula built in that will give you the numbers of what is it worth to you as a retiring agent, and what is it worth potentially to an adopting agent.
That's fabulous. What a tool. That's a great tool. I'm going to totally check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's great. And the only other thing that was a big takeaway for me would be the communication between the adopting agent and the retiring agent. And that relationship where, let's say the adopting agent pretty much has taken over at this point, but you're in that, say, 0 to 4 years that you're still paying off you're still doing the referral program that you kind of, that you outlined, the 0 to 4 year kind of scenario. And, like how much, I mean, I guess you work that out amongst yourself, but what reasonably, maybe the retiring agent says, hey, I don't really care, just, I'll look for my check in the mail.
Right.
And or maybe you're like me and you're really type A and you want to know everything that's going on all the time. I mean, is it something that you've seen in coaching people to do this?
Dee Dee, I think I lost your signal. Your question was about communication between the retiring agent and the adopting agent. And I think it really is up to the retiring agent to say what they expect. And so when you put these new clients in your database, they need to be sourced and tagged so that you can basically pull out a report of all of those clients of the retiring agent. And so you could say, hey, I've got 300 people in the database that are your clients, and here's a report, and I've called all of them in the last 6 months. They've gotten this newsletter. We've set appointments with this many people, and we have this many signed listings or buyers in escrow. And so if you organize the database correctly, and again, just simply having all those adopted clients tagged or sourced as Dee Dee Miller's clients or Dee Dee Miller database or whatever you want to call it, I can hit that tag and pull up the list of people and show the activity for everyone. And
yeah, that's great.
I know for anyone, whether they want it or not, to be able to see that and go, oh, good. Because not every referral works out. I mean, we were referred a commercial client in Washington. We called, emailed, talked to them, followed up, sent stuff. And the agent that referred said, hey, I heard these guys bought something, but I didn't hear from you. And I said, well, I literally just copied and pasted, like, over the last year, we've called them 6 times, we've emailed them 5 times, we've sent them this many properties, and they haven't gotten back to us. So I did everything I could. And sometimes it's really easy. I mean, I got a referral for a veterinary medicine clinic, and when I finally got a hold of the guy, we sent over a listing contract, he signed it, and we're going on the market next week. So yeah, sometimes they just we all know it. Sometimes referrals work out very quickly, and sometimes they take time, and sometimes they don't work out. So
right. Yeah, definitely. That's the nature of the business. Well, Nick, this has been fabulous. And I think it's the part of our business that everybody ignores on a regular basis, and could be one of the most profitable, ways to get yourself out and on and enjoying retirement and enjoying your family and still without not just throwing away the business that you worked so hard to build. So I will say they've put into the chat the link for the free ebook. So those of you who are on right now, you can see in the chat the entire mdrealtor.info/golden handoff is in there for you to download the free ebook. And I hope that everyone will download that, whether you need it now or you're looking for it in the future. And, trying to plan now. I know I'm probably 12, 15 years technically from when I think I can retire, but I'm going to start looking at this now, because I know, for one, I need to clean up my database. And every time we talk about these things, it's always that little in the back of your mind, got to do it, got to do it. So I have to set aside, I think that's what we all are bad at, is actually carving out that time to work on your business as opposed to always being in our business. So we thank you for being here with us today, Nick, and I thank everybody for tuning in. And before we sign off, I want to make sure that we also alert everyone for our live event that will be on September 8th. And that will be at the Westin Hotel in Annapolis. And there will be financial planning for the immediate and long term. It's going to be our focus during that particular all-day summit. And just please save the date. That's September 8th. And we do absolutely hope that that is going to be in person. And we'll get to see everybody at that time. So thanks so much for your attention today. Nick, thank you so much for coming. And thanks for the book. We really
got it.
Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
All right, thanks. Everybody have a good rest of the week.